both sides today playing for a very special member of their footy community. But I want to welcome in our expert today as well. So Brenton Toy, if you're listening, you don't rest up, get better. And we've got our last-minute call off the bench, and she's actually the assistant coach for Waratah, and she kindly joins us. Colleen Gwynn, you've won many premierships with Waratah. You're now an assistant coach with the men's side as well, so we appreciate you. If you leave at quarter time or half time and you see something you want to run out and get a message, you just drop the headset and get over there. But, we do talk about the heat. I mean, as a coach too, when you're in the change rooms, is there a message to the boys, or they just know how to play in the heat?
Yeah, I think, first of all, thank you for having me on board. It's a pleasure to be here with yourself and Dominic. But the heat up here, it's relentless. We know what to expect. I don't think we really talk much about it. I think it's about the support staff making sure that we keep an eye on the players, particularly are they well hydrated, have they prepared well for the game. But it's certainly a consideration for those around the players.
And what about you guys, I guess, as rotations? I did see Aaron Motlop. I just said, a few more rotations today. And he said, probably a bit quicker.
Yeah, you certainly, you make sure your rotations are consistent. You keep an eye on them. That's a really important part of the game here. And particularly if you lose one or two off the bench, that can hurt you. You've got to be really careful. It's not only from a competitive point of view, but it's really from a safety point of view as well.
All right, there are a number of changes for you guys today. So instead of me going through them, can you just kind of touch on them shortly, because we'll head back to that and look at that. But Dominic, we will go to a break quickly because I think Gwynny's just quickly writing down all the changes. There's that many, but we'll be back shortly just to get through the changes of Waratahs.
You're listening to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse, always here for you, and for cfsgear.com.au.
If there's one thing you can be certain of these days, it's that at Chemist Warehouse, your health is our top priority, which is why we're now a COVID-19 vaccination provider. To check your eligibility, scan the QR code in-store or visit our website, chemistwarehouse.com.au/COVID. Then simply book your appointment and we'll see you in store on the day of your vaccination. Chemist Warehouse, always here for you.
Make your team stand out from the competition with CFS Gear. Get sportswear for pretty much any sport, corporate wear for a range of jobs, and school uniforms for the year ahead. CFS Gear are local. They know the NT and what you need to succeed. So whether it's on or off the field, on the job or on the books, you can get the ultimate in comfort, performance, durability and style with CFS Gear. Serving the NT for over 20 years. Visit cfsgear.com.au.
Whatever journey you're on, a road trip with mates or family adventure, Tyre Power has you covered during their Summer Scorcher sale now on. Your number one destination on Google Maps for safety, Tyre Power is ready to help you plan that next driving holiday. During the Summer Scorcher sale on now, buy 3 get 1 free on selected Toyo passenger and SUV tyres. So before you hit the road, make Tyre Power your first stop and find out why Tyre Power is Australia's best. Go and see Bob and Ernie at Nullen Boy Tyre Power in Miller Close.
It was a huge year of Season 6 of the Sounding Board podcast with Hutchie and Damo, discussing the biggest media and sports issues of each week and their own unique take on journalism.
We've talked a bit about Death Riders from a journalistic perspective. I don't think we've really written much about the positive version of them, which is the cheerleader. The cheerleader, the person that has a relationship with someone of public note, and so barracks really hard for opportunity for them.
I'm guilty of this in the past, and I may well be for the purpose of this conversation too, and I know you have been as well.
100% been a cheerleader. In fact, I think it's human nature that when you have a relationship with someone, you want the best for them. When there's an awkward question, they throw up a Mickey Mouse at first. You must be happy with the game, and it often happens, right? Band-Aid off. There's no way I'll be able to get through the interview without asking about the umpire incident, so I'm going to get it out of the way first.
The Sounding Board podcast with Craig Hutchison and Damien Barrett. Catch up on Season 6 via the SEN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Drinkwise. If you're choosing to drink, choose to Drinkwise.
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability, all while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
Gold Coast MG recognises the importance of supporting Special Forces veterans transitioning back to civilian life. They fought for us, so now let's fight for them. Purchase a raffle ticket from $10 and you could win a brand new MG HS Essence. All proceeds help Wandering Warriors support returning veterans and their families through education, employment, respite and mentoring programs. Hurry, raffle drawn January 24. For tickets, visit mggoldcoast.com.au. Gold Coast MG and Wandering Warriors, saluting their sacrifice.
Stay in pole position this week with radio's #1 motorsport show, The Driver's Seat with Matt McKeldin and Stephen Johnson.
Stadium Super Trucks boss Nathan Kaiser reveals the real Barry Ryan.
People misunderstand Barry. You know, we see him for the guy that swears on TV and does that sort of stuff, but he's an incredible bloke.
Last time we spoke to Barry Ryan on this show, I think he was watching maths.
You think that's a joke? That's not a joke.
That's dead serious. Yeah, that was dead serious.
Download the Driver's Seat app to listen now.
You're listening to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse, always here for you, and for cfsgear.com.au.
Welcome back to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse, always here for you, and for CFS Gear, the NT's sportswear, corporate wear and school uniform specialists. Well, the women's game in front of us has been run and won. The Waratah Football Club Women's Premier League, having defeated their opponents, Wanderers 10-7 to 5-7. Again, as we've raved on about already so far, very, very warm conditions. Feel like temperature 44 degrees. We've got an opportunity now to hear from Colleen Gwynn, our expert commentator for this afternoon, as to just where the Waratah Men's Premier League sits, and Colleen, the number of changes that have already happened, even just from last week's game against St Mary's.
Yeah, Dom, I think we get a lot of this, that game before Christmas, people go home, and it's also an opportunity to rest players if they do have some injuries, but Abe Ankers is the big out. He hasn't travelled up the highway from Alice Springs. Our major forward, Cam Arnold, hasn't played a lot this year, but we really need to get him back on the footy field, and he's interstate. Tommy Cree's been really dominant across the midfield. He's out. Jimmy Waratah's not here, and Amius Ross is watching the Ashes down in Adelaide today. So I'll just dob him.
Don't mind.
I'll just dob him in right now, and his coach is still seething over that one. Tommy Fields.
I know his mother. Having a word to her.
Don't worry. I think we tried everything, and Tommy Fields another forward. So they're a bit underdone in their forward line, but we do have Magro, who's kicked 21 goals. Jaden Magro, that is. He's a live wire up there. There are some changes, but gives an opportunity for some players to come in, such as Jack Griffiths is in. He's a player from Mataranka. Dylan Fuller, also from the Big Rivers region, his first game in a Premier League jumper. Lewis George here, you'll see him as a mid-winger, and Robbie Barty, another first gamer. He's from Alice Springs. So, Ryan Ayres is trying a bit of fresh blood, so to speak. See how they go in this game. All important game, as you know. They sit very close on the ladder with Tars at 2 and Wanderers at 3, and Wanderers have got a pretty consistent side. I don't think there's a lot of change in their list, so I think this will go down to the wire, particularly with Eddie Simpson playing such good footy up forward.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, coming into this round, Tars sit in second, Wanderers in third. This is the final game for round 13. So Tigers are on top. They've played their 11 games. They're on 36 points. Saints sit second after their 11 games on 30 points. But both Tars and the Eagles, a game in hand. So whoever wins this will actually take second outright. So this is huge. And as we heard from Braden McLean earlier, this is what you want. This win going into the break. We have 2 weeks off over Christmas because, next weekend is Christmas and then the weekend after is New Year's. So we resume footy on the 8th of January. This is a huge game in that context. And how have you found, I guess, your first half of the season?
Yeah, look, I was interested in, I've always coached coached in the women's game. Spent a year in the NTFL with NT Thunder and had the opportunity to just see how Ryan Ayres goes about it, and I'm absolutely enjoying being involved with the men's game, and it is different. It's a different game. With women, you really got to simplify a lot of the, I guess, the coaching methods, because a lot of them haven't come through the game like young boys do, and then play the game all their life. So it's very different. I'm learning a lot, and I'm just enjoying the experience.
And you're another female that's doing the same job. Shannon Miller's at the Nightcliff Tigers. You're on top of the ladder. Her role's with the midfield. Have you got a set role?
No,
have you got an area?
I just sit across. I look at more like the structures, and if one of the lines isn't there, then I'll just fill in. So that gives me the opportunity to look more across the board and look at that sort of strategic approach to the game. And I also examine the opposition. So I give Ryan Ayres some analysis around who we're up against.
And what did you do? What did you give him today about this team?
That there's 4 motlops in, so look out.
Tick.
Yeah,
there's the first one.
Look, I think we always know with Wanderers they do like to play an uncontested game. They love to kick to grass. They love on the outside. They don't like they do chip it around a bit, but very much an uncontested team. And you'll never see a Wanderers team not bring their A-grade game.
Yeah, they're pretty full on, aren't they? The Eagles, the way that they get stuck in. I thought that they've been actually very, very good so far this season. I've commented a number of times that sometimes Wanderers, you think, oh, gee, are they really serious? Are they really, and they're sitting sort of 4th, 5th, even 6th, and they have this late charge.
Yep.
Not now. If they were to win today, as we've talked about, they slot into 2nd position as we see them run out onto the ground now to commence their warm-ups. To me, they are so beautifully placed and quite scary, I think, for the other clubs in the competition, because for them to be placed this well so early, I think just spells, alarm bells for the other teams.
It's a good point that last time they won a flag, they actually came from 7th. They were 7th on the ladder after Christmas, and it was an Andrew Hodge coached outfit, and they came from 7th and won the flag.
That's was there 5 motlops that day as well? I think
probably 10. I don't know. I can see Shannon Motlop over there. He might be able to tell us.
Yes, he was one of them playing that.
Waratah running out onto the ground now as well, just to complete their pre-match warm-ups. Time for us now again just to have a brief break. So Top End Footy on SEN. Plenty more to come after this break.
You're listening to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse. Always here for you. And for cfsgear.com.au.
If there's one thing you can be certain of these days, it's that at Chemist Warehouse, your health is our top priority, which is why we're now a COVID-19 vaccination provider. To check your eligibility, scan the QR code in store or visit our website, chemistwarehouse.com.au/COVID. Then simply book your appointment and we'll see you in store on the day of your vaccination. Chemist Warehouse, always here for you.
Make your team stand out from the competition with CFS Gear. Get sportswear for pretty much any sport, corporate wear for a range of jobs, and school uniforms for the year ahead. CFS Gear are local. They know the NT and what you need to succeed. So whether it's on or off the field, on the job or on the books, you can get the ultimate in comfort, performance, durability and style with CFS Gear. Serving the NT for over 20 years. Visit cfsgear.com.au.
It was a huge year of Season 6 of the Sounding Board podcast with Hutchie and Damo, discussing the biggest media and sports issues of each week and their own unique take on journalism.
Media who jump the fence. Now, people who are ex-journos who become head of corporate affairs, when you jump the fence, how much fair game is it to share what you learnt if you jump back again?
If I was in the situation, privy to conversations in that particular field in a former professional life, this is just me. I don't think I would have used the information.
There are journalists that go 20% too far, and there are some journalists that talk those stories down 20% the other way.
Which category do you reckon you were in for 20 years?
I was in the too far guy. Unquestionably.
No one has ever been more in that category than you.
I would rather be the too far guy than the talk down.
The Sounding Board podcast with Craig Hutchison and Damien Barrett. Catch up on Season 6 via the SEN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Drinkwise. If you're choosing to drink, choose to Drinkwise.
Whatever journey you're on, a road trip with mates or family adventure, Tyre Power has you covered during their Summer Scorcher sale now on. Your #1 destination on Google Maps for safety, Tyre Power is ready to help you plan that next driving holiday. During the Summer Scorcher sale on now, buy 3 get 1 free on selected Toyo passenger and SUV tyres. So before you hit the road, make Tyre Power your first stop and find out why Tyre Power is Australia's best. Go and see Grant and Des at Tyre Power Darwin, 131 Stewart Highway.
Up, down, turn it around. There is nothing like a crown. Or picking it up and putting it down. Place it here or take it there. Low to the ground or high in the air. Top of the stack, worry now. If you want it off the ground, there is nothing like a crown. Or picking it up and putting it down.
Call 131 604 or visit crown.com.
We're at a party. 3 little kids were playing in the pool, all under 5. Adults were busy talking. Glanced over, noticed a little one underwater. I think she needs help. That's how easily something can happen. It only takes a few seconds. Don't worry, the party had a happy ending. But we need to remember, fence the pool, shut the gate. Teach your kids to swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate, and learn how to resuscitate. I'm Laurie Lawrence. Kids Alive, do the 5.
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability, all while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
You're listening to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse, always here for you, and for cfsgear.com.au.
Welcome back to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse, always here for you, and for CFS Gear, the NT sportswear, corporate wear and school uniform specialists. Well, what a game this promises to be in front of us today. 3rd placed Waratah taking on the 4th placed Wanderers Eagles. 2nd spot up for grabs before the Christmas New Year break. As we've spoken about, Waratah, they were in 1st spot only 2 weeks ago, and they find themselves in the dangerous position of sliding to 4th, potentially. Can they really pull something out of the bag here this afternoon? They've got a pretty decent team on the park, as do the Eagles. And as Colleen Gwynn has already mentioned, sometimes these games are what you call danger games. Not quite your full team, people not quite switched on, perhaps, Colleen. How do you see the approach by both teams this afternoon? Let's start with Wanderers and your examination of them. Where do you think they potentially will win this afternoon's game?
Wanderers are very much a team that love to play in the space. They don't like a lot of contested footy. They really get the numbers running forward. They run in packs. They are hard at the contest. I think the difference with this Waratah team this year under Ryan Ayres is they're more of a defensive outfit. I think their pressure has improved. They're very strict with their structure, and Ryan Ayres is very, very strict on keeping to the plan, keeping to the structures, don't make changes. Let's just see this through the season. He's confident that what his plan and his structure is what will see him through to finals.
Very interesting that you talk about the defensive aspect. I must admit, every time we've watched Wanderers play this season, I've actually been really impressed with their defensive unit. You've got the 2 lookalikes out there, Mitchell Taylor playing at centre half back, such an athletic running defender, and now they've brought in his mini clone, Lloyd Johnston, who's just slotted in across half back beautifully. The other one who's normally there, Daniel Wheatra, not playing today. I think that is very much a great positive for Waratah today, but also Warwick Williams. So you've got these 3 attacking, running defenders who I think have just been outstanding for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Braden McLean, the captain, always leads from the front. You always get 100% out of him. He's a student of the game. He knows the game well. He sets him up out there. He's a wonderful wonderful leader, and when he's on the park, you always know you're going to have a good day.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's exactly right.
And I think another big player missing is Marcus Totham. So last time we played at Tracy Village Oval, we were here back in round 9. He was absolutely phenomenal all over the ground.
Yep. That was the game against St Mary's, wasn't it?
Yep,
Which they won.
So for my mind, Marcus Totham out as well.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it evens it for both sides, which is great because both are playing for that number 2 position, which is quite rare, especially at round 13. This is going to be great.
Yeah, it should be indeed. And I talk about Daniel Wheater being out as one of their great defenders. Alex Wheater actually back into the team. I haven't seen him in the Eagles unit for some time. Son of the great St Mary's wingman Tommy Wheater.
Yep.
So got some pedigree there and used to play with the Eagles some years ago, and great to see him back just playing footy.
Yeah, it is. And there's another name that we're really familiar with in the territories, Wheater.
Oh, yes.
There's been many of them. And great to see him. I'm really excited to see him play because I'm yet to actually see him live, but I've heard a lot of positive reports about his game.
All right, well, we've harped on how tough this is for the players. Just quickly mentioned the umpires out there today. Daniel Lancaster is in jumper number 24. So Stephen Panger is 18, and Mark Newman, who has umpired more than 300 NTFL Men Premier League games, has an opportunity out there to probably lose a couple of kilos in this heat running around as the 3 umpires.
What are you saying, Shannon? What are you saying?
He doesn't need to. Look, I'm saying they don't need to, but not by choice. A lot of these players and umpires will be losing a lot of fluid today.
Yes, indeed. Players just taking their positions here. Getting settled. Umpire making sure that everybody's in the correct positions. And, of course, these days, that's just not positions. That's 666. Waratah kicking towards the right of your dial. The Eagles kicking towards the left. The umpire holds the ball aloft. And yes, that sound in the background is the siren. So the game to get underway. First bounce. Wilkins up high, beaten for it in the middle. There by Wanderers and Caleb Nicky, and the umpire calls for it immediately. Solid tackle laid in the middle of the ground on number 13 there for Waratah, Jordan Wilkins. Ball tossed high. Wilkins up against Nicky. Wilkins wins it down. Tars flip it out of the middle, taking the footy away from that midfield. Initially there, Warwick Williams drives the ball forward, up towards half forward. Underneath it there, Alex Wheater, the man we were talking about a moment ago, beaten for the footy. Ball flicked out here towards Brodie Motlop, and they take possession, and ball held up there at right half forward. So the Eagles momentarily pushing the ball forward.
Ball tossed up. Wilkins again with a height advantage over Nicky, but it goes down to a Wanderers player. Kicks it up into the forward 50, right forward pocket, and Wanderers are going to have their first shot on goal, and the first shot on goal is a success. So Wanderers, through that man that you just caught in Wheater, Alex Wheater, you wanted to have a look at him. Well, he's very accurate from the right forward pocket. That was some angle, and he didn't disappoint with that first entry, Gwynny, and they go straight 1. They lead by 6 points at the first minute of the match.
Yeah, Tars just lost touch with their players, found ball watching a little bit there, and we've had a good look at Wheater relatively quickly, haven't we?
Wasn't it?
Very extremely composed and in the 50, which is what you like to see.
Well, his dad was an absolute superstar, and I've got no doubt that quite a bit of that has rubbed off on Alex Wheater. Ball back in the middle now. Caleb Nicky giving away, I was about to say some metres to Wilkins. Not quite that much, but gee, Jordan Wilkins, certainly a tall player, wins the ball down. Waratah looking to extract. Turnbull does on the left foot. Tumbles a punt straight to the chest of Brodie Newman at right half back. Mitchell Taylor on the run. Newman caught. Is going to get a free kick for a push in the back. He was tackled well, but carried forward. So Newman from right half back here for the Eagles. Low drop punt out wide. Good mark. Good mark out there taken by Joel Crocker. Looking for the 50 as he was put down. Warwick Williams in that altercation, and he will have given away the 50-metre penalty as well. The crowd will be very pleased with that. That's not very impressive by the Wanderers player in that regard. SEN Top End Footy here for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Only 2.5 minutes into this game, Wanderers lead 1 straight 6, but an opportunity here for Waratah to perhaps put a score on the board. Left half forward. And Crocker, I think it is, to take a shot at goal. Comes in. Long kick on goal. High, accurate. Players are up. That's straight through for a goal. That's a superb kick from Crocker. And at the 2.5-minute mark of this quarter, the Tyre Power scoreboard, your trusted tyre exports, reads 1 straight 6 apiece. A good start to this game, Colleen.
Yeah, good. And it's good to see Joel on the board. He has got a good leg. He's and, you know, I think that that'll lift his confidence. Has played a bit at North Melbourne, Dom. So he's played a bit of football, comes from a football family. So, yeah, he'll be happy with that.
Well, the Crocker name, synonymous with North Melbourne, of course.
We heard Braden McLean, the captain of the Eagles side, saying that this heat would need to slow the big man down. The big man in the middle at the moment, Wilkins, has hit all the tap-outs, as he does again, although it's going to go to still Turnbull, their co-captain. Ball kicked out to Karanua. Karanua takes a bounce out on the commentary wing. Nice left foot up to centre half forward. Ball down on the ground. A number of players picked up beautifully by Silva. He just takes a dummy, ducks through one, ducks through. He's got to be caught, and he just played on. Handball gets out to LeGrice, and a beautiful mark coming out of full forward. That is just beautiful work there from Silva. Nearly dodged one too many times, but Silva got out of traffic, put it up to full forward, which is exactly what you want, and Boyd didn't disappoint. Strong hands in front of a number of Eagles defenders, and he is going to try and put the Tars in front for the first time this afternoon. 4.5 minutes gone in the match. As the kegs just moved in the background. And he just comes in and Boyd just drops it. He didn't have to kick it too far. It was directly in front, 15 metres. And Waratahs at 2 straight 12, leading Eagles at 1 straight 6. 4.5 minutes gone.
So Bowd, who just converted that goal, he's actually he plays in the back line. So Ryan Ayres had to move him forward.
Players for just
Find a number of players free, including Barty. Barty handballs it off, goes to the left forward pocket. A number of free Waratah players everywhere, running for a shot on goal. There's no one down there, but he's just missed it. And that was Rich having a lovely shot on goal, but it's just gone to the right of the post. They pick up another one. They go to 2-1-13, leading the Eagles 1-1-7, 13 minutes gone, opening term.
Wanderers now with ball in hand. 1 goal lead here to Tars on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Little chip in comes to Brodie Motlop. Started this game with a few nice little possessions. Little chip kick now goes to Jyron Dobson. So Dobson now. Well and truly in the game. Could have had a goal. High up and under from him. Who's going to fly for this? Simpson was in there, couldn't get the footy. Jerome Motlop burrows it through, so too Fijo, just trying to bulldoze it forward. Erlinson gets hold of it. Handball from him, chopped off by Joel Crocker, one of the goal kickers for Tars. They sweep it out wide, out to the co-captain and Carroll. Carroll with the left boot now, looking for... And the Tyre Power scoreboard kicks straight with a free 5-minute safety check. 2-2-14 Waratah. Wanderers 1-1-7.
Taylor with the kicking in duties. We had the lead of McLean, their captain, decided not to go to him. Picked out another option in Williams, who was unmarked. Straight down the middle. Still inside their defensive 50, the Eagles. Tars are just making it a little harder as they've got a good press. They come out to their defensive 50-metre line, but a great mark from Stevens. He's claimed it. Joel Stevens is... going to be an easy mark, and the umpire is going to call a free kick.
target. The Tyre Power scoreboard, your trusted tyre experts, 1-4-10. The Eagles trailing Waratah 2-2-14, 18 minutes gone in this first quarter.
Had a bit more time than he expected. No one was behind him. Could have kept running and maybe a bounce, but no communication out there. This is end-to-end stuff. Carroll gets the kick in straight down the middle. He goes out to the outer wing, the defensive side of the outer wing.
Where's the defensive game gone, Colleen? You were talking about earlier.
Look,
Carroll kept running.
Yeah, it's a very different game than what I was expecting, but, you know, it's a good game to watch, isn't it? Flowing and some nice skills.
Carroll's just hold the ball aloft in the middle of the park. There's a number of left footers out there, including Carroll. Carroll goes to 2-on-1 option, and his player was the only one. Taken away for them by Johnston. Johnson for Eagles kicks it in the middle of the park. Another turnover. Now it's Waratahs up to full forward. Great one-on-one battle here, and at the back, Magro gets it, and Magro runs into an open goal, puts it on the boot. It dribbles on the ground, and it dribbles to the left of the post, and that's another point. Another goal gone begging from both ends here. It's 15 Tars leading Eagles 10, 19 minutes gone. This is enthralling stuff and a number of missed opportunities from both sides here.
SEN top end footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Newman now playing on. Long kick. Long kick out wide goes to Johnston. Takes the mark, but in fact it's out of bounds on the full. And the kicker initially, in fact, was Nathan Jones-Cabillo. So Waratah with ball in hand, left half forward, and another 50-metre penalty. So clearly the player on the mark, I would say, has not come back to the mark, Colleen. And a 50-metre penalty marches. I'm just trying to pick up who the Around Australia, hot afternoon, very hot afternoon to say the very least, but Waratah, perhaps surprisingly to some, hold a 24-point lead here at half-time. They led by 23 at quarter time, 5-3-33 to 1-4-10, and have extended that lead by 1 point after a pretty tough second quarter, 7-5-47 to 3-5-23. Goal kickers to half-time for Waratah, 2 goals to Harrison Kitchke. He's kicked 1 in the first and 1 in the second. 2 goals to Joel Crocker, both of those coming in the first quarter. And then singles to Jake Bowd, Joel Stevens and John Booth. For the Wanderers Footy Club, with only 3 goals on the board, they have 3 individual goal kickers. Alex Wheater, the only goal scorer in the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, singles to Keelan Fijo, who kicked the first goal within about the first 2 minutes. And then Eddie Simpson later in that quarter. So half-time here, Waratah leading 24 points, 7-5-47 to 3-5-23. For some thoughts on the game thus far, Colin Gwynn.
Yeah, look, I think it's about... Waratah's probably getting to the ball quick, the first to the ball, and they're probably getting the numbers there. And I think Wanderers are getting caught out on the overlap, so they're transitioning out of the Wanderers 50, and Wanderers are flat-footed and they're reacting rather than being proactive. And look, they threatened a number of times then. You could see they had the ball in the 50, they looked dangerous, and just their execution wasn't quite there, and then gave Waratahs the room to really just empty the 50 and, transition into their 50 and scored.
Yeah, and it kind of is I guess, 2 opposites for them. At some stages, it's a really open forward 50 and they just don't make the right decision to get it in there quickly. And then other times, there's too many of them in there and the Tars' defensive side are able to clear it out. But the transition from Waratah has been super impressive. I think, though, if you took away the scoreboard and you didn't know what the margin was, it is end-to-end stuff. It's pretty fast-paced, not what I was expecting in warm conditions. We keep saying it's warm in Darwin. Everyone, if you're outside of Darwin and we play in the wet season, we know that, but it feels like 42 degrees and it's over 50% humidity. So, you know, I was expecting a much slower game. So I think in this second half it will be interesting to see what happens with both sides. I feel Wanderers are getting a little tired in the legs and they're having to catch up a little by that chase because the quick transition is there from Waratahs.
Look, I think that the most critical matchup so far has been the Eddie Simpson and Dan O'Dwyer. Simpson hasn't done the damage he normally does. He would probably have 3 or 4 on the board at the moment. I think he's got 1, is that right?
Yep.
1 goal.
He's only had 2 shots on it. One was
that's
a terrible miss. And
that's hit. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's critical, and I think that's assisted keeping Waratahs where they are in terms of the scoreboard.
So interesting to see where we go in the second half. This is Top End Footy on SEN. Plenty more to come after this break.
You're listening to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse. Always here for you. And for cfsgear.com.au.
If there's one thing you can be certain of these days, it's that at Chemist Warehouse, your health is our top priority, which is why we're now a COVID-19 vaccination provider. To check your eligibility, scan the QR code in store or visit our website, chemistwarehouse.com.au/COVID. Then simply book your appointment and we'll see you in store on the day of your vaccination. Chemist Warehouse, always here for you.
Whatever journey you're on, a road trip with mates or family adventure, Tyre Power has you covered during their Summer Scorcher sale now on. Your #1 destination on Google Maps for safety, Tyre Power is ready to help you plan that next driving holiday. During the Summer Scorcher sale on now, buy 3 get 1 free on selected Toyo passenger and SUV tyres. So before you hit the road, make Tyre Power your first stop and find out why Tyre Power is Australia's best. Go and see Bob and Ernie at Nullarbor Tyre Power in Miller Close.
It was a huge year of Season 6 of the Sounding Board podcast with Hutchie and Damo, discussing the biggest media and sports issues of each week and their own unique take on journalism.
We've talked a bit about Death Riders from a journalistic perspective. I don't think we've really written much about the positive version of them, which is the cheerleader. The cheerleader, the person that has a relationship with someone of public note, and so barracks really hard for opportunity for them.
I'm guilty of this in the past, and I may well be for the purpose of this conversation too, and I know you have been as well.
100% been a cheerleader. leader. In fact, I think it's human nature that when you have a relationship with someone, you want the best for them. When there's an awkward question, they throw up a Mickey Mouse at first. You must be happy with the game, and it often happens, right? Band-Aid off. There's no way I'll be able to get through the interview without asking about the umpire incident, so I'm going to get it out of the way first.
The Sounding Board podcast with Craig Hutchison and Damien Barrett. Catch up on Season 6 via the SEN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Drinkwise. If you're choosing to drink, choose to Drinkwise.
Make your team stand out from the competition with CFS Gear. Get sportswear for pretty much any sport, corporate wear for a range of jobs, and school uniforms for the year ahead. CFS Gear are local. They know the NT and what you need to succeed. So whether it's on or off the field, on the job or on the books, you can get the ultimate in comfort, performance, durability and style with CFS Gear. Serving the NT for over 20 years. Visit cfsgear.com.au.
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability, all while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
Gold Coast MG recognises the importance of supporting Special Forces veterans transitioning back to civilian life. They fought for us, so now let's fight for them. Purchase a raffle ticket from $10 and you could win a brand new MG HS Essence. All proceeds help Wandering Warriors support returning veterans and their families through education, employment, respite and mentoring programs. Hurry, raffle drawn January 24. For tickets, visit mggoldcoast.com.au. Gold Coast MG and Wandering Warriors, saluting their sacrifice.
Stay in pole position this week with radio's #1 motorsport show, The Driver's Seat with Matt McKeldin and Stephen Johnson.
Stadium Super Trucks boss Nathan Kaiser reveals the real
is off to the right-hand side. What a start that would have been if he kicked it. So the Tyre Power scoreboard extends the Waratah lead by 1 behind your trusted tyre expert, 7-6-48 to 3-5-23.
Taylor kicks it in to Johnston in the left back pocket. Silver is going to stand on the mark. Johnston runs around him. Newman wanted it down on the commentary wing, and he was honoured with that, and he's taken a good
50 metres
strong mark out in front, but as he went down to the ground, he was dealt with. He's going to be marched 50 metres.
How good is his intercept marking?
They were quick onto that. He didn't run the full 50 metres. Newman quickly wanted to play on, and as we've heard, they're not playing in front at the moment, and in front was Gooch for Waratahs, and they're going to get out of trouble easily. Newman should have gone that whole 50-metre distance and taken a more concise approach going into the 50. He didn't. Now Waratah on the outer. They come in a lot more physical. Waratah's wanting a free kick as well on the outer. Bowed. Just runs around the player on the mark. Is a long way from 50. Goes up to centre half forward. There was no one there. Drop mark that should have been taken from Tipalura. Turnover again in Waratahs, and a lovely chip in, finding Brodie Carroll, the co-captain for Waratah. And the lovely chip to Brodie Carroll sees the co-captain have a shot on goal here. He's going to have to kick it just over the paint of 50. Slight angle. And again, Waratah just having too many players unmarked, and the opportunity to find Carroll. Had a quiet first half, looking for his first goal for the afternoon, the left footer. He runs in, he's trying to bend it back, and he can't bend it back enough. Goes through for a point, and Waratah move to 49. They lead the Eagles 23. 3 minutes gone, third quarter.
Brenton Motlop now called to play on from that fullback position. Brings the ball inboard, finds Mitchell Taylor. Flares it out wide. Target initially Matthew Motlop, but Jared Erlinson chipping in. Right back pocket, up against the boundary. Goes forward, looking there for Braden McLean. A nest of Waratah here, 3-on-1. McLean lays a tackle and pushes his opponent over the boundary line. Probably the best result he could have gotten there, Colleen.
Yeah, he was definitely outnumbered. That could have been a lot worse, so it's good work by Braden.
Setting themselves now for the boundary throw-in. SEN top-end footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Wilkins runs in front, just taps it forward beautifully, streaming through. Erlinson had the footy, lost the footy. Waratah calling for the free kick. Handball comes out to Jerome Motlop. He gets one off to Bo O'Connell, drops the footy. High tackle called, perhaps fortunate, and Bo O'Connell, leading with the forward there, dare I say it. William Collis, the man on the mark now, confronted by Jerome Motlop. Bo O'Connell going to Alex Wheater, got hands to it, didn't take the mark, gets the free kick for a high tackle. Wanderers, they need to make the most of this play. Alex Wheater pops it up, looking for Bo O'Connell, needs him to turn around in forward 50, does do so, got hands to it initially. The sweepers come in now. LeGrice, handball dangerously towards the goal line. Bo O'Connell puts pressure on, and Daniel O'Dwyer sees the ball through for a minor score for the Eagles. So they move on to 3-6-24, trailing Waratah 7-7-49 on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert scoreboard.
Dylan Collis kicks straight down the middle. And the defensive line finds the co-captain in Turnbull. He goes to the outer wing looking for Joel Stevens. Goes over the head of him, trying to pick it up is Joel Stevens. He gets a handball away. They're away here now. George has it. He looks forward, going up to centre half forward. The Eagles have numbers if they can pick it up. The ball doesn't bounce favourably. Boyd picks it up. Boyd gets it off to Magro. Magro goes running in directly in front of goal, and he kicks it from the top of the square. And Magro picks up his first for the afternoon. And again, it's that quick transition from Waratah that have them on the board for the first goal in this third quarter. They move to 8-7-55, leading Eagles 3-5-24 on your tyre-powered scoreboard, your trusted tyre experts. 5-minute ticks over here in the third quarter. But one thing is for sure, Eagles have come out with a little bit more intent. There's a lot more body contact, and the Tars have had to work for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Waratahs are scoring a lot of their goals from those transitions. They Wanderers are on the back foot. They're not willing to put the effort or the work rate in to really, I guess, stay with the Tars on that transition, and it's hurting them.
Ball back in the middle now. Waratah again doing the job nicely. Booth off to William Collis. Quick left foot kick up through centre half forward. Bounces over the head of Silver. Stanley Tipalora takes that. Kicks long out through centre wing. Brodie Carroll underneath it. 2 cracks at it. Gets hold of the footy. Handballs backwards to Dylan Collis. Beautiful left foot kick finds Turnbull. Immediately goes by hand to Crocker. Back to Turnbull again. Off to Joel Crocker. Has to kick backwards. Dangerous play here now. Warwick Williams in pursuit of the footy. Carroll in pursuit of him. Gets him. Handball off to Jerome Motlop. He handballs off to a teammate there in Clee. Couldn't get hold of it. Tars now have hold of it. Carroll dancing around at centre wing. Handballs off to Turnbull. Normally a good kick of the footy. That is horrible. Let me down very badly. Goes to Lloyd Johnston. His kick out wide looking for Jerome Motlop. Hits his chest. Bounces off again. Tars gather. Handball off to Silver. Steps around. Looks into the middle of the ground. That's a good kick. On the bounce. Goes to William Collis. Has time. Kicks long. Straight down the middle. No mark taken. Off hands. Trip surely. And Magro, that's Jaden Magro, will have an opportunity to kick his second goal of this third quarter. He'll line up 35 from goal on a 45-degree angle, right of centre, kicking to the right of your dial.
Yeah, that's just frustration, I think, by Mitchell Taylor. They're just tapping his ankle, and it's a probably certain goal, you would imagine, rather than having a 70-30 chance of Tars scoring. So that's just a bit of frustration creeping in there.
Very good player is Jaden Magro. Good on the left boot. This suits him. Right of centre. Kick on its ways, mate. Absolutely no mistake of that whatsoever. Puts that straight through the middle for the second of the quarter. But more importantly, Waratah now extend that lead on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Kick straight with a free 5-minute safety check. They move on to 9-7, 61. Leading Wanderers 3-6-24. We've gone 7.5 minutes in the third quarter.
Yeah, Waratah's just hitting their targets. They're running for each other. They're making space. They're just working hard. And I think Wanderers certainly have come out with some aggression, as Shannon mentioned before, but it's not translating into good football at the moment. There's obviously a bit more passion there, but it's just not lifting them enough to, I guess, translate to a score on the board.
Fuller now in the ruck going up against Nicky. Fuller gets it over Nicky. Brandon McLean's after it for the Eagles. Coming through as Rich for Tars. Stevens has it. He chips it inboard to Crocker. He's had a mountain of work in this third quarter. So has William Collis. William Collis tries to put it into the right forward pocket. Eagles have the numbers. Picking it up and a great tackle. Magro's been extremely busy as well. So is Fuller. Fuller picks it up. Hurried kick into the left forward pocket. Dropped by Motlop, but he went again and picked it up. He can't kick it out of danger. And Motlop comes through and he has hit the player too high. We talked about that aggression, but it's not being used in the right way at the moment. So the free kick.
And a 50.
And a 50. So this is not going to be good. He's got to keep his head here, Brenton Motlop.
And I think he has to come back and kick this again too.
Bowd is going to be the man taking it. Brenton Motlop just trying to get a bit of push and shove in here. We talked about the second quarter not featuring any 50s. First quarter was 3 50s apiece. They really picked up their discipline in the second, but Eagles, 10 minutes gone in the third quarter, have given away their first 50 of this quarter. So now Bowd gets to come back and have another shot on goal. Bit of a stutter. He's directly in front. He kicks it and he just puts it to the left of the post. And so they only pick up a point. They move to 62, leading the Eagles 24, 10 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Lloyd Johnson, that was a great run from fullback. Long kick finds Brodie Motlop at centre wing. Yeah, that's right, at centre wing. His kick, beautiful, finds Matthew Motlop. Right half forward, now called to play on. Getting up slowly was Fijo. Good kick out there, finds Ankin Lewis. Takes the mark, chips inboard, goes to Bo O'Connell. Does he take the mark? No, he doesn't. Call to play on, deep in the right forward pocket. Flips off a handball to Ankin on the left boot. That's a good kick. Right in the corridor, pressure from Dre Thompson. Ball spills. Simpson kicks the goal finally for the Eagles. 4-6-30. they keep in touch, sort of, to Waratah 9-8-62 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Your trusted tyre experts. They fell into that one, Colleen, but they got it. That's what counts.
Well, that was started with Lloyd Johnson, that quick out of the 50, and then they gave Waratahs what they'd been dishing out to them. They kept them on their back foot, and coast to coast off they went and scored. That's what they have to do. They've got to get the ball in quickly. They've got to move it quicker.
And Lloyd Johnston, a mature head for a young player, 17 years of age, I think, from Borroloola.
Yep.
And that was a great run initially. Just great skills.
Well, he had 50 on them already, didn't he?
Yep.
He was on his bike and off he went.
32 points the margin for Waratah. Hope you're enjoying our call on SEN Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Fuller up in the middle against Nicky. Fuller got a tap, but it's kicked off the ground for the Eagles, only as far as Magro. He gets a handball away, and it's a quick transition straight into the forward 50. Waiting at the back and taking it was McLean. The crowd to our right is Waratah, and they wanted ball, and they're going to get it as well. So the free kick going to Waratah. Directly in front, 40 metres out. And this is an opportunity for Brodie Carroll, the co-captain. His run-up's as long as where he's got to kick it. Some of them have very big long run-ups. He's in the middle square at the moment. He's going to have to kick it about 45. Just walking in now, going over the paint of 50, the left footer. He kicks it, and he kicks it truly. The co-captain gets high fives all round. It's his first goal for the afternoon. And Waratahs bring up their 10th goal for the afternoon. They're 68 points leading the Eagles 30. 12 minutes gone in this third quarter. It is warm, Colleen, but they're just able to get
They just have the answer, don't they? Wanderers feel like they're getting on top, and then Waratahs, they just come back at them. The Waratahs forward line, they're just sharing the ball around there. They're presenting themselves, they're staying in front, make it very difficult for the Wanderers defenders.
Umpire trots through the centre circle, takes his position. Wilkins to go up in the ruck contest here up against Caleb Nicky. Wilkins wins it down. Erlinson threw a foot at it. Charging through there was Turnbull. Kick up forward for the Eagles. Bo O'Connell was the target. Dre Thompson gathers with speed, runs away from Dylan Collis. That's a great snap from the right forward pocket. His target was Simpson, cleared him and cleared his opponent straight through for a goal. The quick reply, at least of sorts, and they've got their 5th goal on the board. 5-6-36, trailing 10-8-68. 13 and a half minutes gone. 32 points the margin on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert scoreboard. Just sort of staying in touch, Colin.
Yeah, that's the goal of the game, isn't it?
That's sensational.
It's on the run, and when Wanderers move the ball quickly, they look good. They look like a different side. They're still there. This game's definitely not over.
Well, both sides playing for outright second on the NTFL ladder as well. So a lot riding on this second half coming up. Big tap by Wilkins. Trying to get it and picking it up and getting a shove was Barty.
That's just untidy, isn't it?
And so much of a shove that it's a free kick to Barty. He gets up, he's a little ginger at the moment. He just handballs it off to Magro, who has a booming left foot. He kicks it up to the left forward pocket. Brenton Motlop's at the back, gets a fist away. No one can pick it up cleanly. Trying to get it out was Matthew Motlop. They come out the defensive side. They're on the defensive outer wing. Not many leads coming towards them at the moment. They're all just running back and across. Little stab pass and then finds Lewis. He's in the centre of the wing. He chips it further down, but he finds a player 2-on-1, but somehow it falls to Erlinson. Erlinson kicks it up to the right forward pocket. Trying to pick it up was Weecher. Weecher get a handball away. Thompson, who kicked the goal of the match so far, trying to paddle it forward in front, but no one can pick it up cleanly, and probably a good result in the end for the Eagles. It's going to be thrown in 10 metres around from their right forward post, but that was Probably pretty good from Erlison for that ball just to fall in his lap when he had two players on him.
Unbelievable.
And now the Eagles, can they keep it inside their forward 50 or can they add to the scoreboard?
So ruck contest here is going to fall short. Gooch up against Wheater. Gooch charges at it. Jerome Motlop belted it forward. Taken now by Turnbull for Tars. A nice torpedo punt up through half forward. Mitchell Taylor taps backwards to his twin in Lloyd Johnston. Scoots through. Does he? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Still got the footy. Was tackled by Silver. Lost the ball. Regained the footy, got it back to Mitchell Taylor. That's a good spot up kick. Caleb Nicky underneath it. 2 touches at it, missed it. Falls now to Brodie Motlop. Kicks on goal and misses to the right-hand side. To say they needed that is an understatement, as we said Lloyd Johnston come from the ground with what looks like cramp.
Yeah, hopefully it's cramp. He grabbed his hamstring, so hopefully it's cramp and nothing more sinister, because they need him back out there. As Dwyer just holds it up from kicking in. He's told to play on. He comes down the commentary wing. Big kick, 60 metres. William Collis was in front, but the mark is going to go to Williams. He runs off the mark. Wilkins might have been in the protected zone there. Williams kicks it up, and a good effort. Was Simpson not able to take the mark defensively? O'Dwyer has it, goes out towards the scoreboard, and a great chop off from Lewis for the Eagles. He's 60 metres from goal, just inside the outer boundary. Kicks it up, and a brilliant mark from Simpson. And the crowd loved it. And the good work from Lewis just to get the ball quickly back inside. And Simpson, who is leading the goal-kicking scoring for all of the Northern Territory Football League, he's going to line up for his 3rd goal for the afternoon. He's going to have to kick it about 15 metres, but he has a 45-degree angle. And he's just picked up some grass, checking what the breeze is doing. So can he add another one for the Eagles? And more importantly, can he add his 3rd for the afternoon? Simpson comes in, drops it, and he kicks through, and he kicks it right up into the trees. And there's high fives all around. It's their 6th goal. They get it within 4 goals the margin, the Eagles. They move to 6-7-43 to Waratah, 10-8-68 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Your trusted tyre experts. 18 minutes gone in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, great forward pressure by Wanderers. They just kept it in the 50. They rebounded back, and the effort of Antkin Lewis in the last few minutes, he's really come into the game and had some critical possessions. It's really turned things around. So, yeah, we've got a game on our hands here.
Antkin Lewis, not the prettiest footballer, and he just popped that ball to exactly the right position. SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Up in Ruck, Gyron Dobson, pushed forward by Turnbull for Waratah after that contest. Coming through strongly was Booth, got it out to William Collis. In fact, the handball came from Barty. And the ball up towards half forward. Silver taken in a tackle before he actually had the footy by Tipalora. Turnover, Waratah up into forward 50. The charge was on Jake Bow. The kick on goal there came from Joel Stevens and popped through for his 2nd. The quick reply, well done Waratah, just pushed that through beautifully. And the Tyre Power kick straight with a free 5-minute safety check scoreboard says, there it is, the 11th goal on the board for Tars. 11-8-74, plays 6-7-43, 18.5 minutes through this 3rd quarter. You're on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au with Shannon Byrne, Dominic McCormack and Colleen Gwynn.
Yeah, just Waratah's really dominating those centre clearances. It's really hurting Wanderers. Whenever they do win the clearance, they do seem to be able to get it into their 50, but I would be looking at that their midfield if they really want to get back into this game. I think that's probably where there is some damage being done at the moment. We'll see who wins this clearance. Might make a liar of me.
Fuller goes up. He just turns around and slaps it blindly going forward. Brodie Carroll, the captain, he got a handball away to his co-captain in Turnbull, was looking for Silver. Eagles pick it up, though, through Newman. He gets a hurried kick. No one's able to pick it up cleanly now. It goes to Fuller for Waratah, who just puts it up to the top of the square. And has that carried the distance? Fuller off one step, and it's just been touched on the last line of defence. Goes through for a point. They move to 75, and they lead the Wanderers side 43.
Oh, Brenton Motlop there played on, took the ball out all the way to right half forward, turned it over straight away to Stevens. His drilling pass looking for and finding Silver. Crashed into, tackled. Surely he tried to spin out of that, and the umpire says, no, that's okay, you didn't have an opportunity. We'll ball it up inside 50. Wanderers fans not too happy about that one. The tap out comes to Nathan Jones-Cabillo. Handballs backwards to Brenton Motlop. Chips out wide looking for Ankin Lewis. Close to the boundary line. Keeps his footing and does beautifully. And the umpire says it's a boundary throw in. Colleen, we're not on the greatest of angles here, but I thought that he kept that ball in then.
It certainly looked it, didn't it?
He was confident. Maybe it was just how he made it look.
There must have been millimetres in that.
Boundary throw in from the arc of 50. We've gone 20 minutes in this third quarter.
Dobson gets in front of Fuller, but it goes over both of them. Hurried kick out of the pack in favour of the Eagles. Ugly up and under. Simpson was parked under it. He's a long way from 50 from his goalpost. As a strong tackle, Thompson puts a really big tackle on the defender for Tars of Dwyer. And the ball's going to be tossed up. Commentary side. Attacking side of the wing for Waratah. Ball tossed in. It's a shallow one. Fuller was in front. He went up against Dobson. His second tap, though, goes to Bo O'Connell. He gets a no-look handball away to Williams. Williams swirls around. Lovely piercing kick down the commentary wing. Not able to hit the target of Clee for the Eagles. And the ball just trickles out directly where we are on the commentary wing. Behind us is the canteen, but more importantly, we're under lovely shade cloth. 21 minutes gone in the third quarter. It's Tars 75 leading the Eagles 43.
Jaron Dobson to go up against Wilkins in the ruck contest. Wilkins works his way in front, gets a tap onto it, gets it away there to Barty. Kick came from Crocker. Crocker's kick taken here by DeSantis. Did well, takes a bit of courage to stand under the footy like that. Gets a little chip to Matthew Motlop. Takes the mark. Gee, that's a low ball, that one, looking for Ankin Lewis. Couldn't quite deal with that. Ball taken by Carroll. Got it to Wilkins. Bowled over by Jerome Motlop. Jumps his way in. Ankin Lewis again. Did beautifully. Got a kick forward. And right there is Simpson. Takes the footy. Kicks into space. Looking for Alex Wheater. Takes the mark. In the corridor. 40 metres from goal. Needs to go back and kick this goal. 75 plays 43 to get them within, if my mathematics is correct, 26 points. He's got to kick this goal. As we see Jaron Dobson coming from the ground with some claret from the left eyebrow. Alex Wheater dead in front. Kick on its way. He's kicked one already this afternoon. He's kicked two. They needed it. That's a good goal from Alex Wheater. One in the first quarter. Now he's kicked one in the third. And the Tyre Power scoreboard kicks straight with a free 5-minute safety check. Wanderers move to 7-7-49. Waratah 11-9, 75, almost 23 gone in the third quarter.
Yeah, really good work by Simpson there. He wheeled around on his outside. He knew exactly where Wheater would be leading. Just put it into space. It's some nice play from such a tall player, showing a bit of agility there. Didn't muck around.
He's fantastic, isn't he? Below his knees as well.
Good.
Up high,
Very
terrific.
Good. Yeah.
So, just in terms of just keeping an eye on Dobson as well, he's doing a lot of rucking, but he's just getting that left eye looked at the moment. So blood still streaming from that. Wilkin goes up against Nicky. The height advantage sees him tap it forward, but read well by Matthew Motlop, who boosts. Bursts out of the middle, comes out, another handball to Jerome Motlop. He goes up to Simpson, who came out from full forward, wasn't able to take a mark. Defensively, Tars able to kick it down to Brodie Carroll, who was all on his own on the commentary wing. He goes forward to another free player, and that was employed. Bowd wanted to play on. Williams wrapped him up. So no 50 there, but Bowd just pokes it in, and Eagles have the player numbers. Went over the head of Joel Stevens, picked up for the Eagles, hurried kick out. Silver is the only player out there, but it's going to beat him to the boundary line. And a lot of players now walking around late in this third quarter. 25 minutes gone. Ball to be tossed on the outer wing, 45 metres away from the left post for Waratah.
How that wasn't given as deliberate, I do not know. Sunday afternoon, the humidity's getting to everybody, including the umpires. Down from Wilkins, Jones-Cabillo came through again. Turnbull, I think it was, on the up by hand. Snap on goal is tapped through. No, it's not yet. Mitchell Taylor over the footy, got a fist to it, and does see it over the line for a minor score. So Mitchell Taylor with ball in hand, casual as ever, just pops it up to Nathan Jones-Cabillo. If I tried to do a kick like that, I'd sit it in the arms of a Waratah player for sure. Went back there to Daniel Clee. He goes back to Mitchell Taylor. Let's see what he does with this one. Pressure coming here from Jake Bowd. Waratah doing a very good job here to corral. Almost 25 minutes gone. Long kick now. Looking out here for Caleb Nicky. Flying was Matthew Motlop. Mark taken. No, it's not. Play on, says the umpire. Tackle laid. And the ball held in to the Waratah player there who took the mark. That was, or I should say, took the footy. That was Jordan Wilkins. Immediately will go up in the ruck here at right half forward.
Both of the ruck didn't get it, but coming out it was Turnbull, the co-captain. He gets a handball to Magro, who's directly in front of goal. He turns around, he wheels around, and he's trying to get it through the big sticks, but instead it hits the post, and they pick up another point. They move to 77. It's TAR 77 leading the Eagles 49. 25 minutes gone in this final term, third term, apologies.
Mitchell Taylor taking a few bounces as he runs it out from fullback. What a majestic looking player he is. Long kick out towards Brodie Newman. Normally good on the marks, but on this occasion couldn't take it. And the Waratah defender sees it out of bounds for yet another boundary throw. Right there at centre wing, SEN top end footy for Chemist Warehouse here this afternoon, and cfsgear.com.au. The tyre power scoreboard, 11-11-77 Waratah. 7-7-49 Wanderers. There's some symmetry to that here this afternoon as we see Barty. In fact, it was Stevens trying to crash his way through. Tackled. Ball falls to the ground. Free kick goes to the Eagles. Jerome Motlop trying to pull a 50. Got to take his kick and find a teammate here. Just wheels around and goes to Warwick Williams, who looks out wide here for Ankin Lewis. Gee, I've been impressed with him in this third quarter. Just his effort has been unreal. Left foot kick into a dangerous position. Alex Wheatrick goes to the front position. Simpson crashing through, paddles the ball to a teammate beautifully. Handball comes from Erlinson to Dre Thompson. Handballs around here to Fijo. Back to Simpson. Little bit of clear. Back to Fijo, who dropped the footy. Under pressure now from Dylan Collis in the forward pocket. And he wins a free for being sat on. So the free kick in the right forward pocket, he plays on the shot at goal, and that is a minor score, and there just was no calmness about that, Colleen. No. He did not need to do that at the 25-minute mark. No, unnecessary. If you look at we're about to hit three-quarter time, another goal. Here's 3 goals in it, a bit over 3 goals, and it's that would have made a big difference. So the tyre power scoreboard, 77 plays 50 here at the 25-minute mark of the third quarter.
Dylan Collis goes up, his brother climbs, William, but he's not able to take the mark. Drops to the hands of Taylor. He gets a hurried kick into the left forward pocket, and Simpson takes a mark. Another player back down, Johnston, he's got cramp again, so that was good that he came on for cramp for his hammy, but now his calf's cramping, so he's finding it tough this afternoon. Simpson on the stroke of the final siren for the third quarter. He was about to start his run-up. He's now come back to take it again. Throws up the grass, which we can see here in the left forward pocket. The wind is going across the goals. Can he get his fourth for the afternoon? Comes now into the field of play. On the paint of 50, he has got a huge kick on him, but he goes straight through the behind posts. And so he only picks up 1 for the Eagles as the players all come together. And at the three-quarter break, it is Waratah 11-10-76, leading Wanderers 7-9-51. A 25-point margin here for Waratah. They led at 23 at quarter time, 24 at the halftime break, and they have added 1 point to that margin. So 25 points the lead here as both teams try and find some shade. Water buckets are out. Water's been passed around. Wanderers are getting out a lot of towels, putting it over their head, and a very, very warm afternoon here in Darwin. 1 quarter coming up. Whoever is victor out of this, 2 teams will be second on the ladder after round 12, and more importantly, second going into the Christmas break. We'll be back shortly to look at what happened in that third quarter.
You're listening to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse. Always here for you. And for cfsgear.com.au.
If there's one thing you can be certain of these days, it's that at Chemist Warehouse, your health is our top priority, which is why we're now a COVID-19 vaccination provider. To check your eligibility, scan the QR code in-store or visit our website, chemistwarehouse.com.au/COVID. Then simply book your appointment and we'll see you in store on the day of your vaccination. Chemist Warehouse, always here for you.
It was a huge year of Season 6 of the Sounding Board podcast with Hutchie and Damo, discussing the biggest media and sports issues of each week and their own unique take on journalism.
Media who jump the fence. Now, people who are ex-journos who become head of corporate affairs, when you jump the fence, how much fair game is it to share what you learnt if you jump back again?
If I was in the situation, privy to conversations in that particular field in a former professional life, this is just me. I don't think I would have used the information.
There are journalists that go 20% too far, and there are some journalists that talk those stories down 20% the other way.
Which category do you reckon you were in for 20 years?
I was in the too far guy. Unquestionably.
No one has ever been more in that category than you.
I would rather be the too far guy than the talk down guy.
The Sounding Board podcast with Craig Hutchison and Damien Barrett. Catch up on Season 6 via the SEN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Drinkwise. If you're choosing to drink, choose to Drinkwise.
Make your team stand out from the competition with CFS Gear. Get sportswear for pretty much any sport, corporate wear for a range of jobs, and school uniforms for the year ahead. CFS Gear are local. They know the NT and what you need to succeed. So whether it's on or off the field, on the job or on the books, you can get the ultimate in comfort, performance, durability and style with CFS Gear. Serving the NT for over 20 years. Visit cfsgear.com.au.
Whatever journey you're on, a road trip with mates or family adventure, Tyre Power has you covered during their Summer Scorcher sale now on. Your #1 destination on Google Maps for safety, Tyre Power is ready to help you plan that next driving holiday. During the Summer Scorcher sale on now, buy 3 get 1 free on selected Toyo passenger and SUV tyres. So before you hit the road, make Tyre Power your first stop and find out why Tyre Power is Australia's best. Go and see Grant and Des at Tyre Power Darwin, 131 Stewart Highway.
There is nothing like a crown of picking it up and putting it down.
And there's nothing like a local branch with local people to understand and service your needs. For forklift sales, rentals and service, Crown's Darwin branch has highly trained and experienced local people ready to look after you. And because they're local, they're never far from where you are. Give them a call on 131 604. Check them out at crown.com or call in to 4 and Nick DeMartis Road, Berrima. Crown Forklifts Darwin. Locals helping locals.
There's lots of kids who can't get swimming lessons at the moment. I know. How can they learn about water safety? Children can learn through play and exploration, but always under supervision. And don't forget our free online resources. There are songs, dances, puppet shows, stories, and more.
That's right, girls. Visit kidsalive.com.au for water safety education. I'm Laurie Lawrence. Kids Alive.
Do the fight!
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability, all while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
You're listening to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse, always here for you, and for cfsgear.com.au.
Welcome back to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse, always here for you, and for CFS Gear, the NT's sportswear, corporate wear and school uniform specialists. Shannon Byrne, Colleen Gwynn and Dominic McCormack with you. And about to get underway is our final quarter. This terrific match between Waratah and Wanderers. At quarter time, it was Waratah by 23. Then at half time by 24. And at three-quarter time, they lead by 26 points. 11-11-77 to 7-9-51. The major goal scorers for Waratah, Jaden Magro, Joel Crocker, Joel Stevens and Harrison Kitchke, each with 2 goals. And for Wanderers, it is Eddie Simpson, who has 3 goals, while Alex Wheatra has 2. Siren sounds, last quarter. Getting started. Who can pull out a win here this afternoon? One down by Waratah, but taken by Erlinson initially. Kicks up towards centre-half forward. A scrubby kick. Over the footy is Barty. Wrapped up in a tackle. Dropped the footy. And free kick immediately goes to Matthew Motlop. I've been impressed with him. Kicks to a teammate in Dobson, drops the footy, then spears a low trajectory drop punt to Bo O'Connell, who led out from full forward, snaps on goal from 35 metres out, and it's paddled through for a minor score. Well, that's a different sort of a move already from the Eagles, and not even a minute in to this quarter, they have a minor score on the board, so some positive play.
Dylan Collis kicks it in, and that's an ugly kick, a hard kick to Brodie Carroll. He's trying to find his co-captain, but it was well out in front of him, and it's gone straight to the boundary line. It'll be tossed in, 45 metres around from the Eagles' right post. So the Eagles trying to keep it in. Colleen, we'll get to you in a moment. You ran over to the huddle, see what message you gave him. Dobson for the Eagles got in front. He taps it down, and the umpire's called a free against... It's going to go to Waratah for a hold. Player didn't even have the ball. Barty wants it on the attacking side of the defensive side of the commentary wing. Comes down the commentary wing, number of players, more Eagles in front. Dobson tries to claim a mark, wasn't a mark. Joel Stephen picked it up off the ground for Tars. He gets it forward to Turnbull. Ball slippery now. It's a very hot afternoon, and there's going to be a free kick going against the Eagles. It was high against Matthew Motlop. He played on when he shouldn't. It was touched off the boot. Goes inside the forward 50, but Waratah have the numbers. There was a kick for Boyd out to Abode out to the outer side, and a free kick. It's a messy start to this opening term. It's not a free kick. The ball's going to be tossed in favour of the Eagles, 60 metres around from their left post, with the timer not starting on the scoreboard. Good one, Dom. You started it.
Boundary throw-in is a good one. Picked up here by the Eagles. Matthew Motlop again. He just couldn't quite keep his footing there for a moment. Got the handball to Stanley Tipalora at centre wing. He tries to get a handball to Jared Erlandson. They sit all over him. They hold the ball in. And Mark Noonan, the central umpire. Gee, I was waiting for him to give the signal no player wants to see. But he says, no, pass it to me. We'll toss it up on the outer wing. All's equal. 77 plays 52. Waratah in the lead on the Tyre Power scoreboard. In strongly again, Barty pushes the ball backwards, goes to George. Now a kick from the Waratah defence. Brodie Newman underneath it, almost takes the mark. Being held onto, gets hold of the footy, gets a handball away. Tars will be first there. Nice little handball comes out towards Silva. Stopped and propped. Brenton Motlop held him up for a moment. The ball socket forward. Jones Cabillo ran hard at it. Grabbed hold of the footy at half back. Passes the ball really nicely and gets it to Jiron Dobson at left half back. Looks to swing inboard. That is a really dangerous kick. And William Collis just sits underneath it unchallenged. Takes the mark. Gets it to Magro. His left foot kick. Up towards a teammate there in Bowd. He goes to ground, so too Mitchell Taylor. Socket away by Corey Rich. Socket towards goal. Goes through for a goal. Was it touched by Brenton Motlop? What will the umpire say? He's standing there. He's going to have a chat. Brenton Motlop saying that he definitely touched it. Central umpire says, you go away and stop trying to influence my decision, Colleen. And they're going to have a chat. Brenton Motlop's being told to go away again. They all come in. Central umpire, two boundaries, goal umpire. The decision is a goal. Brenton Motlop is furious. Corey Rich kicks the first goal of the last quarter. Wanderers not happy, but it is on the scoreboard. The Tyre Power kick straight with a free 5-minute safety check. And that was a superb soccer off the ground, which leads to a 12th goal for Waratah. 12-11-83 to Wanderers 7-10-52.
Still not happy, Brenton Motlop, but that has counted. 3.5 minutes gone. The winner of this match will go second outright on the Northern Territory Football League ladder. Dobson's in the ruck against Fuller. Both just tap it to each other, both trying to scramble it out of the air. Goes to the ground. Dobson gets a handball forward only as far as William Collis. And William Collis is absolutely cleaned up by Jerome Motlop, and Jerome Motlop's given away a 50. So William Collis very slow to walk. He's asking. Erlandson's in his way as he walks down. He quickly chips it forward though. There's a number of players it could have gone for, and Brodie Carroll very, very, very lucky lucky to not be more injured, as there's a number of players unhappy out there, as Brodie Carroll was running back with the flight of the ball. And that was Taylor, was it, that came through?
Yeah,
Taylor has come through and hit Brodie Carroll a little late. And as there's a melee in the background, players have broken into a number of areas where there's push and shove. Brodie Carroll is still walking, and he's going to walk all the way. He's the only player inside the forward 50 for Tars. Brodie Carroll walks up. More importantly, he just drops it. It's his second for the afternoon, the co-captain. But Waratah are not happy with the way that Taylor came through and hit Brodie Carroll as he took that mark, as players are separated. And it is the second goal for Waratah in this final term. They go to 13-11-89, leading Eagles 7-10-52. 4 minutes gone in the closing term. And that noise you can hear is Taylor is coming from the ground. He was the player that came through and made late contact on Carroll, and the Waratah faithful are happy for him to come off the ground and letting him know all about it. This is heating up now. This will be interesting. I mean, the Waratah players didn't like what happened and they ran to him. As coaching staff, how do you get a message out there to stay out of it? Because you don't want anyone getting, missing a match for remonstrating. There was a free kick in it.
No, straight away you saw Kuda, the runner for Waratah, straight out there. The message is, walk away from it. It's not worth it. You don't want to be scrubbed out for games, particularly as we're going into the business end of the season. They've just got to play football.
Just waiting here. There's a bit of a break in play as we see Crocker, I think, was directed to come from the ground by the central umpire. There's another one now as well. Dobson being directed to go from the ground for the blood rule. Crocker was directed to come from the ground because he had a ripped Guernsey.
Yeah,
I think.
Can't see his number.
And now Jiren Dobson the same. His is blood rule.
That's his same left eye.
Motlop. Yeah, that's right.
That's just split open again, his left eye.
So the Tyre Power scoreboard, 13-11-89, Waratah, Wanderers 7-10-52. Your trusted tyre experts, Tyre Power. We get underway again. In the middle, neither ruckman really win it down. 6.5 minutes gone in this last quarter. A fiery 6 minutes it's been, but you'd have to say totally won by Waratah. That ruck contest won down by Caleb Nicky initially. Out of the middle, charging through Barty, loses the footy, gathered by DeSantos, kicks it forward for the Eagles. No mark taken by Wheatra. Ball spills to ground, stacks on, and the umpire should say very quickly, that's mine. Just inside attacking 50 for the Eagles. Alex Wheatra sticks his hand up and says, I will go up in the ruck contest. Goes up against Gooch. Slapped forward by DeSantis. Comes down to O'Connell. Had a touch on it. Slapped it forward to Erlinson. Now goes to Fuller. Fuller on the left boot. Belts it up towards centre wing. Falling over there was Warwick Williams. Ball comes to Stanley Tipalora. I thought he got a handball away. The umpire said dropping the ball. Silver takes it and it will fall into the waiting arms of Stevens. Players just lining up here for Waratah. Kicks it forward. Handball comes from Harrison Kitschke to Corey Rich, and Corey Rich just drops it through from the goal square for the 14th goal of the afternoon. Corey Rich kicks his second in this last quarter. We've gone 8 minutes, and Colleen Gwynn, dare I say it, it's all over here. Yeah. This is going to be a Waratah victory because discipline has gone out the door here for Wanderers.
Yeah, it certainly has. They're a bit of a rabble at the moment. I think they'd be looking for some leadership out there with Braden McLean, just trying to get them back in the game. Just let's play football, boys. I think an element of frustration, lack of discipline throughout the game, and you see the coach Aaron Motlop. He's there, I guess, trying to message to his players. Just play football. Let's be composed. Let's stay professional.
Aaron Motlop's moved off the bench. The coach is now on the other side of the fence trying to get to the interchange and probably getting that message. Ball won, and Magro comes out of the middle. He kept running. He had Bo O'Connell on his back. He got a kick away, and Magro, with that left booming foot, just kicked it to the forward top of the square, and they were allowed it to bounce through, but it just went to the right of the goalpost, so they pick up another behind, 96-52. I can just say that Croker came off rip jumper number 14. He's now in jumper number 40. So quick change there, and Dobson's still off, just getting his eye patched up.
Ball kicked forward now by Warwick Williams. His target was Matthew Motlop, stolen by Dylan Collis. Handball was a good one. Found Turnbull. Turnbull goes to Fuller. Tackle, but got his kick away. Carroll attacked the ball hard. That's what you want to see from your co-captain, Brodie Carroll. Well done. Colleen, you talk about leading from the front. That's exactly what he did there. Got on the lead, was always going to be some body contact, but he had his eyes on the foot. He wrapped it up. Gets an opportunity now to kick his third goal from dead in front.
Yeah, Brodie Carroll's been a premier player for the Tars for many years. It's probably the best season for him.
I agree.
think a lot of commentators are saying that's the best I've seen. Plays anywhere, plays in the midfield and will go forward and kick.
Veers off the mark, kicks on goal. Can he get it through? Didn't make the distance in the end and slapped through by Warwick Williams. Your Tyre Power scoreboard moves on to 14-13-97 Waratah, 7-10-52 Wanderers.
Hope you're enjoying SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Williams kicks it in up to their defensive 50. Ball on the ground. Joel Stevens picks it up for Waratah. Ball dropped. It's getting greasy out there. Griffiths tried to get it. Kicked off the ground for the Eagles. Goes all the way down the middle of the park, though. First on it was LeGrice. He kicks it to the outer wing to that man in the new jumper 40. It's very, very clean, but he's been very, very busy. 2 goals. Croker picks it up. He gets a handball away. Ball kicked down to the attacking side of the outer wing. Bo O'Connor was in front. He got it fisted down. Magro picked it up, though, for Tars. Dancing out of traffic for Waratah was Kitschke, who's kicked 2 goals. He gets it just inside their forward 50, but the Eagles are going to come away with it. Clee got a handball to Williams. Williams tries to clear it out of their defensive 50. Oh, miscommunication between 2 Waratah players. Kicked off the ground by Williams. Up the outer side. Weetra has it. Weetra can't get out of traffic. He got a handball away, but it was to the opposite player. That was Dylan Collis. Collis gets a kick away to Booth. Booth kicked a goal in the first quarter. He runs off the mark. Booth goes up to centre half forward. Joel Stevens was on the lead, couldn't get the mark. Ball down on the ground. Silver's trying to pick it up. He was tackled without the ball, and the umpire has seen it. So they're going to get a free kick, Waratah. Silver just picks it up, puts his hand up, just tries to calm down the Waratah players around him. He now looks for the lead of Rich, and Rich was on a good lead, but it was a tight lead, and he is now going to have to kick it from the boundary, 45 metres out. A number of Eagles players with their hands on their hips.
I was about to say that's a bit out of Silver's range, so he was looking to pass it off. He found Corey Rich, which is probably...
He's looking around. He's right on the boundary, but why not with this lead? Rich from the boundary, and he's kicked it. Rich celebrates, rightly so. It's his 3rd for the afternoon, and Rich has kicked an absolute beauty of a goal, and rightly so. Players come from everywhere to celebrate that. That was hugging the boundary, and he's kicked a true drop punt, 35 metres straight through the goal, and that's their 15th goal for the afternoon. 15-13, 103, leading Eagles 7-10-52, and in the final term, 12 and a half minutes gone here at Tracy Village Oval. Haven't sighted Kerranua for a while, have we?
Look, I think Wanderers are playing with a reduced interchange. They do have, what's the Mitchell Taylor brother?
Lloyd Johnson.
Lloyd Johnson, sorry. He's out there, but I don't think he's fit. A couple of their players are struggling a little bit, so I think they're just hoping for that siren now.
Waratah winning the ball out of the middle again now. Nice little kick comes from Booth. Just forward of centre finds Turnbull. Hasn't had a big afternoon, but been good with what he's done. Turnbull now from the corridor. Pumps it inside, attacking 50 again. Good mark taken down there by Nathan Jones-Cabillo. Handballs off immediately, goes to Warwick Williams. Williams, low trajectory drop punt out to that man, Lloyd Johnston. Just goes with the one hand. He's got 2 on 1, now 3 onto 1. Tars with the footy. Turnbull again. Nice little chip. Finds a teammate. He does. Jaden Magro takes the mark. Has kicked 2 goals this afternoon, both in the 3rd quarter. Spears a pass into Stevens. Not paid the mark. Ball comes to Mitchell Taylor. Handballs off, looking out there for Bo O'Connell. Being pursued now by Silver. Takes off from him. Geez, quick by O'Connell. Takes that bounce. Long kick down to Simpson. Simpson couldn't quite handle. Came off the hands and the knees and out of bounds for a boundary throw in right at centre wing. You're on SEN Top End Footy this afternoon for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Listening to Dominic McCormack, Colleen Gwynn and Shannon Byrne as the cloud cover mercifully comes over here this afternoon.
Bo O'Connell, how do you think he'd go 100 metres for Australia?
Yeah, very nicely.
Oh, I think he'd go right.
Ball tossed in. Dobson's in front of Wilkins. Dobson gets the ball down, but only as far as Brodie Carroll goes up the outer wing, and Taylor was in front for the Eagles, and he sees the ball over. So it's the attacking side of the wing on the outer for Waratah. Just trying to check who's actually in the ruck. Dobson's there with Wilkins, goes over the back of both of them. Trying to get out of traffic was Brenton Motlop. Ball comes down, picked up by Tars in Dylan Collis. He kicks it forward. Running after it was Carroll. And he's had a brilliant second half. Kicked a goal in the third and the fourth. It was similar when we saw them at Gardens. Both him and Turnbull had a very quiet first half. They can switch it on, the co-captains, can't they?
Yeah, we often will throw both of them forward. They generally don't get a rest, so they do play a lot of the game.
Boundary throw in. Sees it back in the hands of Tars again, pushing it out wide, looking out there for Zach Griffiths. Tackled close to the boundary line by Dre Thompson. And again, another boundary throw in. Right half forward here for Waratah. Certainly keeping the pressure on. Tyre Power scoreboard shows that they've had 28 scoring shots to 17. That's normally a fair indication of what's going to happen in a game. Boundary throw in again. Up goes Wilkins, wins it down beautifully. Goes to Carroll. Carroll inside 50. Magro underneath it. Thumped away from him by Jones-Cabillo. Newman comes through strongly. Gets hold of the footy. One grab. Nice long kick out the centre wing. And using his voice beautifully out there, Dylan Collis called his teammate out of it in Zach Griffiths. Took the mark at centre wing.
So Dylan Collis is in the outer wing. His brother William is on the commentary wing, but he decides to go down the middle of the park. Magro was robbed of the footy from Jones-Cabillo. Eagles now looking for a quick transition inside their forward 50, but it's going to be picked up by Simpson. Simpson gets a clever bounce. Simpson just trickles it along the ground, and Simpson has picked up his fourth for the afternoon. He goes to 38 goals for the season, and Simpson just Johnny on the spot there. Yes. Unlucky for that Waratah defender, but well done, Simpson. He hasn't stopped trying all afternoon.
Yeah, O'Dwyer unfortunately lost his feet, and you lose your feet, you're out the game. So, he hasn't made many mistakes today. I think he's made Simpson work for everything. So that's also probably some fatigue setting in. Still
a fair effort from Simpson, though. In a team that's only kicked 8 goals, he's kicked half of them. Yeah. It just goes to show his work rate, too. He's worked very hard and always been looking for his opportunity.
I think Dommy's also fed a couple of the goals too.
Yeah,
he's worked up the field quite nicely and fed into the 50.
SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. The ball one down by Dylan Fuller. Taken, however, by Matthew Motlop. Been a good player. Off to Lloyd Johnston. Will have a bounce, no doubt about that. Runs through half forward. Long kick. Down to the goal square. Kicks a goal. And Eddie Simpson celebrates with him. Well done, Lloyd Johnston, as his right calf starts to cramp again. Well done, Lloyd Johnston. He's played pretty well this afternoon, and he puts the 9th goal on the board for Wanderers. 9-10-64, trailing Waratah 15-13, 103 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Kick straight with a free 5-minute safety check.
Yeah, Lloyd Johnston, he's been cramping most of the game, and he comes off. They try and get him back out there. Out he goes. He has another effort, and then he cramps up again. But
they even tried a different pair of boots, I was thinking before.
No, he's
still down on the ground.
He can't walk.
Simpson's trying to help him. A number of players are out. Fijo's trying to help him. He's just asking everyone to get away from him. Just trying to get this out himself. Simpson's been told to go back to full forward. 18.5 minutes gone in the final quarter. Ball tossed up by Mark Noonan. Fuller flies. Dobson stayed down. Dobson actually got the tap. Players down on the ground. No one can get it out clearly. Now they do the Eagles, but it's only as far as Waratah's. Rich has it. He's kicked a goal in this final term. He's the attacking side of the centre square. He kicks it up to full forward. He was looking for and couldn't quite find Kitschke. And it's the Eagles who are going to get out of trouble. Brodie Motlop, the ball goes over him, and Brodie Motlop's not going to be able to get to the ball.
throw-in comes now. One down by Dobson. Basically went up by himself there. Lost out to Turnbull. Still going hard at the footy. Drake Thompson comes through, then has to lay a tackle on Rich, causes the ball to fall, and then gives away a free kick for in the back. So Drake Thompson, in his endeavour, has given away a free kick to Corey Rich, who finds himself with Brodie Newman, the man on the mark. 49 from goal, left of centre, about 20 metres in from the boundary. Corey Rich, he's had a cracking last quarter. He's kicked 3 goals, just pops this one up towards the goal square. No mark taken. Ball comes off the pack. Nathan Jones-Cabillo gives a handball away, comes to Silva. He gives a handball away to Magro. Handball straight to the boundary line. And the umpire says, toss that in. 25 metres around from the left behind post. Time ticking away here. 20 minutes gone in this last quarter. Boundary throw in to take effect again. Waratah is putting on so much pressure here, corralling the Eagles. Silva flies in from the ruck contest, taken off the footy. Jerome Motlop comes in, picks up the footy, gets it to Stanley Tipalora. The up and under. Only one player who flew for the footy. Well done. And that mark there taken by Daniel O'Dwyer. The only player who kept his eyes on the footy and had the courage to run straight at it. Goes backwards to Gooch. Haven't called him much this afternoon, but he's marshalled his defensive unit really nicely. He goes back to Joshua LeGrice, right in the middle of the ground, or perhaps just forward of centre. Ankin Lewis, the man on the mark. LeGrice goes forward. No mark taken. Ball off the hands there of Bowd. Long bomb on the left boot down towards the goal square, and the mark taken just in the goal square by Mitchell Taylor.
I thought there's going to be some confusion there between Taylor and Brenton Motlop. And Taylor goes to the outer wing. Big tackle, and that is a big tackle put on by co-captain Brodie Carroll. He dishes the handball off. Eagles have a number of players defensively. Taylor goes up. He gets a fist to it. He's down on the ground. It's very slow to get off the ground at the moment. Some of the Eagles players coming and bursting through traffic is Thompson for the Eagles. He gets a big kick out, booming kick, looking for Brodie Motlop. But at the back, Dylan Collars for Waratah is happy to see the ball go over the boundary line. And that is going to be tossed in halfway on the outer wing.
SEN top end footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Shannon Byrne, Colleen Gwynn and Dominic McCormack with you this afternoon. Fuller to go up in ruck. Caleb Nicky just trailing behind. Brodie Carroll, he has leather poisoning this afternoon, particularly in this second half. Wheels around on the left boot, finds Collis. He goes out wide again to Daniel O'Dwyer. Dishes off the footy to Rich. Little chip from him looking for Magro. Jones-Cabillo was at the back and just couldn't reach with the fist. So Magro, he's kicked 2 goals this afternoon, both of those coming in the third quarter, has an opportunity here. Not exactly the best angle for the left footer, but 10 metres in from the boundary. He'll kick from about 47 metres. He'll have a crack, Colleen.
Yeah, no, he's a good kick on goal. I was a bit worried after he took his mullet off whether that would take away his kicking ability. But
well, he's kept the rat's tail, so that might help him.
The Samson strength. Does the rat's tail count? We'll find out in a moment. Just veers slightly, kicks, and kicks magnificently. The rat's tail does count. He's kicked 3. 2 in the third, 1 in the last, and that is some very, very nice icing on the Waratah cake here this afternoon. We've ticked on to 23 minutes gone in this last quarter. The Tyre Power kick straight with a free 5-minute safety check scoreboard reads Waratah 16-13, 109. Leading Wanderers 9-10, 64.
Yeah, it's well and truly over. You saw that Wanderers did have a crack with a couple of goals, but it's really been Waratah's day today. I think they've executed their plan well. Their work rate's been up. They've ran in big numbers. They're first to the ball. Their tackling power's been great. You know, I think Ryan Ayres will be very happy with what he's seen today.
Just doing a quick head count of which players are in which area. Everything's in order. Nicky goes up against Fuller. Nicky actually wins it. But through to it first is Carroll, and he's taken in a great tackle from Matthew Motlop. Good pressure there. And Carroll gets up off the ground, gives it to the umpire, and we'll do it all again in the middle of the park.
One down by Caleb Nicky. Not to anyone in particular. On pursuit there is Lewis George for Tars. They push it forward, now taken by Dre Thompson. Trying to spot up Jaron Dobson. He picks it up beautifully for a big man. Long bomb down towards the goal line, but nobody there for the Eagles, and Waratah again just begin to move the ball beautifully. Dylan Collis out wide looking for the man with the number 40 on the back, Joel Crocker. Kicked 2 goals, both of those coming in the first quarter. That was where the damage was done, I have to say. He got it off to Dom Booth now. Booth into the middle of the ground, just controlling the footy beautifully here. Turnbull goes to Rich. Rich, who's just been unstoppable in this last quarter, and that's what they've had, Waratah. Contributors in every single quarter. They've just kept pushing and pushing beautifully. Numbers moving. That's a bit of a testing kick, that one. O'Dwyer picks it up first bounce. Gets it back off to Rich. Tackled by Jerome Motlop. Keeps his feet. Long bomb down to Newman. And Newman camped under the footy. Takes yet another very good mark under challenge from Silver at right half-back.
Silver landed awkwardly, so just keep an eye on that. Newman gave a handball back to Matthew Motlop. Dropped it, but had time to find a piercing kick to Nicky. And that's the siren in the background as a number of players lean over on their haunches. Rich goes down to the ground. A number of players embrace each other. A lot of respect out there on the park. It was a very, very hot afternoon here in Darwin. Played in the right spirit, but it was a warm afternoon, and it is a big win for the Waratah side. A big win because they go now outright second on the NTFL ladder. And in the end, it was Waratah 16-13, 109. And they've defeated the Wanderers side 9-10-64. In Colleen, you could just say the respect you're watching out here. They both know they played in very, very trying conditions.
Yeah, look, they certainly play hard, but when the game's over, there's a lot of respect in the NTFL. You know, a lot of these guys know each other. It's a small place. It's a good, really camaraderie that you see in the competition here.
Well, terrific effort from both teams here this afternoon. We see the umpires leaving the ground, and as Shannon and Colleen have just indicated, players coming together here to shake hands, and I'm not sure whether there'll quite be a Merry Christmas between them, but that's a pretty hard-fought game there this afternoon. But I have to say, Waratah Football Club, well done. If I had to make a tip before the game, I probably would have tipped Wanderers to win, simply because of their outside speed and the conditions of the game today. But that is a cracking good effort from the Waratah Football Club, and to run out winners as they have. 23 points at quarter time, 24 points at half time, 26 at three-quarter time. And then 45 points, the final margin here at Tracy Village Oval. As right in front of us, we see the two coaches come together. I never get sick of seeing that after every game. Aaron Motlop and Ryan Ayres coming together, shake of the hands, a bit of a chat. They know that there's going to be still, during the course of this season, some decent clashes between these two teams, particularly as we see the way the top 5 is shaping up, Colleen.
Yeah, well, it's, you see the way the draw's been. This is the first time they've played each other.
Which is amazing.
So they will see each